Hello, friends, and welcome to Figure Study, where we appreciate the form in Transformers. And today we are looking at the granddaddy of them all in kind of a literal sense. We are looking at Cybertron Primus, and Cybertron doesn't just mean that he is from the Cybertron line. He is Cybertron. Primus is the entire planet of Cybertron, and he turns into basically God, or the Transformers God. He is the one who created all of them, apparently. I'm not too into the lore, but I know enough to know that, yeah, this is their home planet, and it turns into a giant robo-god, and that is absolutely absurd, but I love it. And so, yeah, this guy, want to state, first off, managed to get this guy off of eBay for a very reasonable price. Even with the absurdly jacked up price of $18 shipping, because, people gotta try and be clever and make up the difference in price with overcharging for shipping. But even with that, this guy was like $52, which, considering this guy goes for like $160 still in the box, and I've seen him going for like $100 in this condition with the same lack of accessories and whatnot, I was willing to jump on that, and I did. And now, because I got him for such a good price, obviously he is missing some things. He does have his missiles. He has like this little flappy thing, which a lot of the even more expensive figures were missing, actually. But he does not have his mini-cons. He does not have his cyber key or keys, which, I don't really care about. And he does not have his Omega lock, which is actually not a problem. I did a video a little while ago talking about this, which you can check in the description down below, but I found out that a USB thumb drive, or just a USB cable, or anything with the dimensions of a USB, actually does all of this. It works in the pieces for the in the bits for the Cybertron key. It works in the places where the Omega lock would be used for sliding stuff around. It works in the sides for the twisting. It is fantastic, and you'll see that during transformation. But yeah, it's the perfect size. So hey, if you're looking for a Cybertron Primus and you don't care about having 100% of the accessories with like the Omega lock and whatnot, one of these makes a fantastic stand-in. Anyway, Cybertron Primus is, oh my goodness, he is a planet. He is definitely a planet, and he is covered in spiky bits. He is covered in all kinds of little details, which I'm going to bring him closer to see in a minute, and he is quite neat. Not tiny either. I mean, he's not enormous, all things considered, but yeah, not tiny. He's, I'd say, about the size of like one of those red balls that we used to chuck at each other's head in gym class. You know what I'm talking about, those red textured bouncy balls. Assuming those still exist, I don't know. But yeah, he is pretty good looking from most angles. From here, that bit's a little bit but then, you get some detail in here. And this ultimately, color-wise, looks a little flat when compared to the other angle, but then as you start to spin him again, you get some nice color variations and patterns in here. And I really like from this angle because you've got like just a nice sort of flowy bit going all the way around. The underside is a bit of a letdown. Not a whole lot going on down there, but it's the underside. And honestly, I do appreciate, as everyone seems to, that they not only managed to make him a sphere, but also gave him little legs to stand on, so you don't have to worry about him rolling all over the place. I do have to agree with some of the criticisms I've seen, though, that it is a little bit of a shame that we've got this big gap right in here. Like, that is a significant gap. Like, if you look, that is no joke of a gap. I don't know, like maybe if they had like a panel that could slide out and stuff, but then that could run the risk of getting jammed. And also there's a speaker right there, so if a panel did slide in, then it would cover the speaker, so I don't know, but yeah. I'm not an engineer. It's just a shame that it's there. I will also say, before anyone starts getting excited, the lights and sounds on this guy, I don't know if they work or not. He came with batteries. I don't know if the batteries worked or not. He didn't make sounds when I transformed him with the batteries in, but honestly, I don't care if the lights and sounds work because I find sounds in my toys to be annoying. So, it's fine. It is totally fine. But yeah, he is a nifty and decently sized globe. Bring him in here for a little more close up. He's got some really nice texture all over the place. Like, even if you get up close, there's just so much nice panel, like just molded detail. There are little recessed areas that are meant to be like actual cities. Because, you know, he's a planet. He's got these massive, like, towers that also look like guns. And it's just, like, covered in all kinds of detail. Like, this even goes beyond some of the textural detail that I always yammer on about with Titan's Return. And if you watch my videos for any length of time, you know how much I love the textural detail in Titan's Return. But this even goes beyond that. Which makes sense. I mean, he's supposed to be a planet covered in cities and stuff. You can see even more cities there. But, yeah, he is just very cool. And then there's also that place that's like some kind of baddie hideout, I guess, from what I've seen in other reviews. Yeah, I really think Primus's Cybertron, literal Cybertron mode is pretty neat. And I do like the use of color here. I mean, some of the blues and the bluish grays don't really match, but I think that works. He's kind of like just got these patches all over the place that could be considered like different environments, different terrains. Got some nice silver up top with the yellow, but then a little bit of yellow throughout. Some gray going all the way around, and then here you've got like the bluish gray, and down here it's a little more regular blue. But it all works, and I love all the texture that's all over this thing. It's so neat. I am quite glad with getting this guy. And now he does have a battle mode / battleship mode, and it's just him laying down, so we're just going to skip that and go straight to robot mode. But yeah, this is neat. Alright, let's do some transforming. And allow me to say, holy crap. That is a thing. Oh man. Primus is very, very cool. What's interesting is in robot mode, a lot of the details that you get are actually from inside the planet. He actually has a fair bit of it on the outside, but I think it works in this case. And the fact that like these bits of hemisphere turn around to show more of that inside detail actually work really well to his benefit. And of course, you don't have to pop out all the guns. If you wanted to, you could leave these in, you could leave those turned around, you could tuck these back. So you could have like, you know, not going to destroy everything Primus, but he's so neat. I love the way that like he just expands out a little bit, and you get like these nifty shoulder pads and like these giant chunks of planet just past his shoulders, which just make for a really interesting silhouette. And yeah, he's full of little details. Like he's got just like the bright, I think that's called energon blue, just tons of it for the torso, but then a little bit also picked out in the legs there, which is really neat. I keep bumping things. And also that yellow is just all over the place, which looks really nice. That blue, and then with the gray, it's just sort of kept to these arms and his thighs. But it seems a lot less all over the place in robot mode. Like the color palette actually seems much more balanced in terms of where the different colors go. And I think that works really well. And yeah, he is a sight. And again, that texture is going in full force, even in robot mode. Like, don't want to grab him by the head. Bring him closer so you can see what I'm talking about. Come on. There we go. Yeah, I mean, and I'll move the camera in a minute, but like, just even in here, you can see there's so much sculpted texture detail all over the place. And it looks so good. It really, all that texture really sells the idea that he is massive. Like, it basically, like, you know, you look at a Star Destroyer from the original Star Wars trilogy, and it's just got like all those little bits of texture all over it that just kind of make it feel huge. He pulls that off. Just so much, just tiny bits and details all over the place. He seems like just looking at him, he seems like a thing that even in this mode he would have bunches and bunches of little bitty Transformers all over his surface, just running around doing their thing. And you can see that too in the shoulders, just all along here. Even his face looks enormous. Like, I mean, yeah, he's not the biggest Transformer I own. He's like half the size of Devastator. He's not in a technical sense, he's not objectively enormous, but he looks enormous because of all these little sculpted details all over his body. He just has this sort of gravitas to him, just to his being, that makes him very, he appears and feels huge. He has a presence. I mean, he's not small. You know, we'll bring in a Titans Return Deluxe and Samus. And you can see he is big. You know, he is not a tiny guy, but he is not the most enormous figure that I have either. But he just has this feeling to him. Just looking at him, he really does have a presence. And I mean, I do have some issues with him just in terms of aesthetics, like the fact that his forearms are enormous and his biceps are like teeny tiny. And like his fingers seem a little long, but I can't really complain too much because they're really nicely articulated fingers, especially for like a non-masterpiece Hasbro toy. But he is so cool. He's so cool. But yeah, I mean, he's, you know, in terms of other issues, you know, if you look at him from the back, that is not the best looking. Keep kicking the tripod, I'm sorry. It's not the best looking. I honestly don't mind this stuff so much because, like I said, it gives him a really cool silhouette. But that is kind of annoying. I kind of wish that, if nothing else, it could flip around and kind of go flush up against his back instead of just hanging down there. But, you know, too late for that now. I'm not really in the position to change it. But yeah, no, this guy is just so cool. I am so glad I was able to track him down for a decent price, because he is a thing. He is like, he's cool in his own right. And the fact that all of this compacts down to a sphere that's not super big, but you can feel just how dense he is because of all these pieces and bits that are inside. Like, the figure is cool. Just the fact that he turns into Cybertron is cool. But this also, and this sounds corny to say it, but this feels like owning a piece of history. And I know that, you know, owning a G1 figure is owning a piece of history, but there's just something about Primus. It's just, like, this is the kind of thing that I feel like we're probably not going to see again. Not in official channels, anyway. And I am just super glad that I got my hands on him. It's funny, I had no interest in Unicron at all, and then I got Primus, and now I'm kind of like, okay, maybe I want Unicron now. I don't know. I'm still deciding, because honestly, I don't really care for the way Unicron looks. I don't really care for his planet mode. I don't really care for his transformation. But I think Unicron and Primus together would look pretty cool. And honestly, like, the G1 paint scheme for Unicron I do think looks kind of neat. So I don't know. I just don't know. Chances are I won't get him, because yeah, but I am super glad I got Primus. Primus is so neat. And I've been saying that a lot, so I think it's probably time for me to stop. But yeah, if you are ever so inclined as to track down a Cybertron Primus for yourself, I highly recommend you do so, because he is very cool. He's special. He is very special, I think, in the grand scheme of things. And like I said at the beginning of the video, if you manage to find him for a good price, but he's missing some accessories, remember, one of these will work in lieu of a Cyber Key and an Omega Lock for all 4 of the transformation points that require the Omega Lock. So you can totally get away with using one of these. You don't even have to do the battery trick, because the battery trick only works for the chest and the back. It won't actually work for these or for these. So yeah. Just a tip if you do manage to find him. And yeah, I would have been happy getting him at the normal price, and I am super thrilled I managed to get him for the price that I did, because he's only got like a couple of minor paint things here and there, and like that's it. It's just super awesome. Anyway, that is enough gushing over the majesty that is Primus. Thank you everybody for watching. As per usual, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Any combination of those 3 would make me a happy Rob. And remember, art is more than meets the eye.